Right. So welcome everybody to our Wednesday night Free to Dream event. My name's Leah and I have been with the Juice Plus company for about 15 months now, and it's been pretty life-changing, and what tonight is really all about is just sharing some inspiring stories of what we've been up to, and really just sharing about two main things that we've really come to see that in society we struggle with these days. And those two things, one is health and how we feel, and everybody wants to look good, feel good, and there's just so much conflicting advice out there as to and things that you can do, and I really believe what we have is a better way. We've really never been more overfed and undernourished, and it's just become, it's really obvious that we're really struggling with our health. And I know that when I came into and looked at this, I was in a place where my health wasn't great, and it just made sense to me. And then the other thing is really how we do life and our lifestyle and wealth. And, two major stresses in our life are really, around money and time. And we've really found a way that we can really help to alleviate that, and just a way to do life a little bit differently, and bringing back more options and being able to say yes to more. It's really just an opportunity for you to hear what we're up to. We've got Michelle, who is launching her business tonight. So if you've jumped on tonight to support her, we really thank you for doing that and appreciate you for seeing what she's up to. I know start where it all began, which is with our amazing whole food product. So if you have never seen Juice Plus before, this is what it looks like. It's a blend of 30 different fruits, veggies and berries in capsules. So I came across this when I had a new baby. She was 5 months old, and I was really struggling with energy. My overall general well-being I wasn't feeling great. I was really just had that mummy fog, waking up, really struggling to get through the day. And I was looking for something really just to help me. I know that my diet wasn't amazing, although I ate pretty well most days. Even on a really good day, I wasn't getting the recommended serves of fruits and veggies in. I really just found myself in the afternoons, craving sugar, which I'd never in my life before done. And I was really reaching for things that weren't nutritious and good for me. I was breastfeeding, and I just really felt like, she was really sucking the life out of me. And I think lots of new mums really feel that way. So when I came across this, the first thing that I saw that made sense to me is that it had a food label. I could understand everything that was actually on the back. And anybody who's been through a pregnancy or breastfeeding would know that you always have to look at everything. For me, straight away, if something said that came with a warning that you weren't able to take it, then that was a big red flag for me, because I'm not really sure long term how great that could be for your body. So I just loved that I could understand everything that was in it, and it really was just fruits, veggies and berries, and your body recognises it as food. So it's really all about bridging the gap between what we eat and what we should be eating. The statistics are in, and there's less than 4% of Australians that are actually eating the recommended serves of veggies every day. And it's even less with kids, which is even sadder. I really think that what we eat and, what we feed our bodies with really determines who we become. So, I really think that, it's a really important thing to really make sure that we're feeding ourselves, but also teaching our kids the best nutrition. I love the way Juice Plus is made. So it's really just amazing produce grown in herbicide, pesticide-free environments, third-generation farms, and the produce is picked at ultimate peak ripeness, which is really different to the produce that we see in our grocery stores today, where it's often picked well before it's ripe and then kept in cold storage and popped on the shelf. And I get that. That's, just the way of the world and how things are done. But the thing is, our body really needs nutrition that's in that produce in those last 2 weeks of ripening. So the quality of the produce that goes into Juice Plus is pretty incredible. It's basically taken to our plant within 12 hours, and then it's washed and made into like a big smoothie, and then dried at a really low heat to make sure that all of the phytonutrients and enzymes are kept live. So it's literally put into capsules, kept live, and then going into your body, and your body recognises it as food. The studies behind behind it are pretty incredible. We do know there's a study that shows that Juice Plus is actually absorbed within your bloodstream within 3 to 5 minutes, which is really different to a synthetic or, fractured, multivitamin, essentially. You often don't know if you're just weeing it out or if your body is actually recognising it and absorbing it. So I just love that, I'm not paying for expensive wee. I'm actually, my body's getting everything that Juice Plus has to offer. Some of the other studies, there's over 35 peer-reviewed medical journal studies done in top universities all around the world, and what those results really are showing is that Juice Plus actually reduces systemic inflammation in the body. And what we do know is that inflammation is a cause for a lot of illness. So, any sort of itis is inflammation in the body, and this really helps reduce that, those inflammatory markers. So pretty incredible, and I love that because we are all about, supporting families on a health journey and, really good nutrition for everybody. Every adult that actually takes Juice Plus can sponsor a child to take the capsules or the chews for free. So they come in a really nice little chewable form, and they're really palatable. Lots of big kids like them as well. But, every child that participates in that, in getting the free chews, also goes into a worldwide health study. And there are over 1 million children in that study. And what that study is showing is that kids who are taking their Juice Plus every day are having, they're having less days off school. They're drinking more water, eating more fruits and veggies. They're actually reaching for more fruits and veggies. And that's because when the body is flooded at a cellular level with all of those things, you start to feel like more of them. It's like attracts like, and there's really no placebo with children. You can't, I've got a child now, so I know what it's like, but you really can't, make a child that, doesn't like those things, likes a lot of beige food, to try and get them to really feel like, capsicums and cucumbers and lots of different colours is always going to be difficult. But when they're really getting that on a cellular level, it's incredible to see some of the results with children. It's general well-being is better for them, and I just think it's amazing to be able to start with our kids and really, feeding them the best possible so they can be the best they can possible as well. The other product that we do have is our amazing complete powders, and as a mum, I'm totally obsessed with these. I just absolutely cannot live without them. They are a blend of beautiful superfoods, and they come in 2 amazing flavours, chocolate and vanilla. Look, they're just packed with things that I would never otherwise get into my day. Things that, sprouts. So you've got things like alpha sprouts, radish, broccoli, spirulina, pumpkin powder, pomegranate powder, rather than going and buying all those things individually and, adding them to your smoothie. I just love it's in one really handy sachet that tastes amazing. It's a beautiful blend of, your good fats, carbohydrates and proteins. We definitely don't endorse it as a meal replacement. We're all about sustainable health, but these are great to have in your bag if you do have that time of day where you're kind of caught out, you haven't been able to sit down and eat. Rather than reaching for something that's maybe not going to be great and nutritious for you, you can have one of these instead. So I just love that it's kind of my insurance that I always have on hand. But the way I actually really like to use it is in a smoothie in the morning with my little girl. She thinks she's having something yummy like chocolate milk, but actually I'm loading a smoothie with things like zucchini and spinach and loads of other things, and then I'm popping one of these in and it tastes amazing, and she thinks she's having a treat, but she's actually having something really, really nutritious. So I know that if the rest of the day is not perfect, that we've had one really balanced, amazing meal as well. We also, because we, like I said, are about sustainable health for everybody, we have an amazing program that we plug every person who is on Juice Plus into. And that program is just there to really support families on their health journey. It's really a family-friendly program with healthy, tasty food that's not about calorie counting or deprivation. It's really just going back to whole foods made nutritious and really delicious. It's really simple. It was designed by a mum who's busy, who knows what it's like. It's not about having mum eating one thing and, cooking, separate meals for the kids and dad, because that's just not sustainable. And it's, not what we really want to be teaching our kids either. It's really just tasty food for everybody. She was actually on MasterChef as well, but you certainly don't don't have to be a master chef to cook these recipes. We've implemented them into our family. My parents have as well. They're just really easy. We often make them for gatherings with our families, and everybody always wants the recipes. So it's always, I feel like we always impress people, but it's just really easy and going back to basic food. So it's just about teaching our families to have, really going back to whole foods as well. There's a few different components. There's over 200 recipes. There's a Thermomix guide. There's one that's, for Christmas and festival, really nice food. And there's also then a shred pot component for people who work well in a challenge environment and they're really looking to slim down or, shed some kilos, and they want to be in a supportive group that's really all about that as well. So we really offer something for everybody. We might actually head on over to Jenny first off, who's going to share a little bit about her story and her journey on Juice Plus. I'm just going to try and find you. There you are, Jen. Hey, Jen. So maybe if you just wanted to share a little bit about how long you've been taking the product for, and I guess what you found, and I guess some of the benefits you've experienced. Oh, can we hear you?
Okay. Hi, guys, and thanks to everyone for jumping on tonight. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? All good?
Yep.
Yes? Okay, sorry. Welcome to anyone new on the call tonight. My journey with Juice Plus began about 10 years ago. I was on the product, and for one reason or another, I stopped taking it, which was really silly. But about 9 months ago, I touched base with a friend of mine, Mel Brandt, and she put me back onto the Juice Plus again. And I also took on the business as well. With Juice Plus, I have osteoarthritis in my feet, and I wasn't able to work out or anything. But since taking the Juice Plus, I can now work out on a regular basis. I take part in boot camps, and health's just been on the up since. And also, I'm going through menopause. I have virtually no menopause symptoms now, and I was suffering badly with anxiety, which has just practically disappeared as well. I'm coping with things a lot better now, and of course that's probably due to better nutrition. So basically that's my story so far with Juice Plus.
Excellent. Thanks, Jen. We might actually just head on over to Jo now, who is going to share a little bit about her story, and then switch gears a little bit and head on into talking a little bit about the business side of things. Let me just find you and spotlight you, Jo. There you are. All yours.
So I came across Juice Plus at a time when my health was really poor. I'd had Ross River virus, and I had kind of recovered from it, but I was trying everything that I could to get back to my former self. I had a lot of joint pain. I had like low-grade headaches. I had no energy, and I was feeling actually quite depressed, which was a new experience for me. I'm not somebody that understands being depressed very well, so it was kind of foreign. And I worked with Leah's mum, and she was at work doing the same kind of stressful work that I was doing, and she was really sort of in good health and bouncing around doing really well. So I asked her what she was, what are you doing? And she told me about Juice Plus, and I grabbed it with both hands. I didn't even look at the peer-reviewed studies or anything like that. And I started taking the product, and I was so impressed by how it changed the way that I felt. I got my energy back. I was feeling a lot more upbeat. My joint pain was remarkably reduced. There was just so many great benefits that I was talking about the product and telling everybody how great it was, and going to Leah and saying, oh, I've got a friend who's interested, and Leah said to me, well, why don't you join the business? And I wasn't looking for a business at the time, but I just sort of thought to myself, okay, why not? one of the things that really worried me was when Leah first sort of talked to me about it, I was like, oh, it sounds like one of those pyramid schemes, you know, and everybody is like really fearful about those pyramid schemes. But what she explained to me is what I'll explain to you now. And actually, most people are living in a bit of a false conception of what a pyramid scheme is. Because if you look at most businesses, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. If you look at most businesses, they are pyramid schemes. Up at the top here, you know, you'll have your CEO, and then you might have like your higher management, you'll have your middle management, and then you'll have your, you know, Joe Blow on the ground that's doing the hard work. And very, very, very few of these workers down here are going to be able to make their way to the top. In fact, they're probably never going to, because if you come in on this level, chances are you might make middle management, but very seldom are those the people that get to the top that start making, you know, the good money. If you look at the business that we do, we also have levels, but it's kind of the other way around, because everybody comes in at the bottom here on the same level. We all pay our, 150 something to start off with. We all on the same level, whether you're a doctor, a nurse, you know, whatever you are, and everybody has exactly the same opportunity to get themselves to the top. Because at this point here, so we do have our levels and everybody goes up their levels. At this point here, there's an endless amount of space. There is no limit. The only reason why people don't get there is because they give up somewhere along the line. Every single person that persists and works at this business has the ability to reach the top here. And one of the other things that really attracted me to the business and that I love is that to get to the top here, you're actually helped all the way along. So you're mentored, you're tutored, you're really, really helped to get to the next level, because we all benefit from everybody that's doing well. So there's no catchiness, no bitchiness. You don't have to climb on anybody's head, you know, to get to yourself to the top. And as you get to the top, your paycheck actually is a reflection of how many people you're helping. So if you're that kind of person that really wants to make a difference and help people, this is the perfect opportunity. And it's one of the things that really attracted me, and that I'm really excited about, you know, being able to have the opportunity to help so many people and do really well out of it financially. You know, can't really ask for better than that.
Amazing. Thanks, Joe. I think you've explained that really well. I'm going to head on over to another Joe now, who is also going to share a little bit about her story, and then switch gears a little bit. Where are we? Oh,
thanks, Leah.
Sorry, there we are.
Can you hear me?
All good.
Good.
Yep.
Thanks, Leah. Hi, everybody. So like Leah said, my name's Jo. I am a registered nurse and a mum of 2 kids. I've got a 4 and a 7-year-old. And when I first was introduced to Juice Plus, I looked at it from an immunity perspective for my children. I really wanted to boost their immunity. My daughter was going to daycare and she was getting a lot of chest infections. She was getting croup all the time, and which meant that I then had to take time off work, which then affected our paycheck. And but the great side effect that I had as a result was I suffered from postnatal depression when I was just after my son was born, and that sort of has continued and been a bit of a pattern for me. And when I started taking Juice Plus, I noticed a really big change in my anxiety and depression levels, and I've been able to reduce my medication, which has been fantastic. what I find is that I'm more productive. I think clearer. I'm a nicer mum. I'm not that cranky bear at the moment. And my husband works away. So, a lot of the time it's single parenting. So it's nice that I don't have to be the cranky mum. So it's been a really great result there, and it's something that it certainly didn't expect. The immunity for my kids has increased. We haven't been sick. Everyone's been really healthy and going really well. And with my husband working FIFO, it's really great now that he's taking the product, because I know that at camp the meals and things leave a little bit to be desired, and so he's not getting that optimum nutrition when he's away. So to keep him healthy as well, so that he's fit and well when he does come home to us, is really great. So the business side of things, I can now see a real opportunity to actually bring him home. And I'm really excited for that, because I never thought that there would be a medium where we could earn enough money to supplement his wage as a FIFO worker. So that's really exciting that there's that possibility. And I've got the kids on board with that now as well. They know that when I'm working on the computer, when I'm doing, we call it fun money, they know that we're working towards bringing Dad home. And so that's really exciting. But one of the things that I was worried about when the business was first introduced to me was just that I didn't want to be hunting people down. I didn't want to be going hunting out my friends and sort of saying, you have to do this. And because no one wants to be sold to or hunted down. So what I found, just grab my little board. When I found that this business, like Jo said, was just about helping people early on, and everybody wants to be able to help people to, look better and feel better and perhaps lose a bit of weight along the way and improve their health, it's really great. And people then start to become attracted to the results that I was seeing and asking me what I was doing. So it became really easy for me to share the business with others. And so worried that I didn't know anybody, and it's really great that our business just grows kind of organically. And like Leah mentioned before, there's a lady by the name of Kira who's written our program. And so when Kira started the business, she introduced the product. She introduced Juice Plus to a couple of people that she knew, and that was Jackie and Erin. And so she was asked by Jackie and Erin actually if there was a business attached. Kira didn't even share it with them. They were so excited about the product. And so Jackie and Erin have now gone on to share the business. Erin shared it with Leah, and Leah shared it with Jo, and also with Cody, who's on this call too, and then with Charlie, a few other people here along the way, sharing it. And so it just grows organically like this. And so over here, Jackie's also shared the business with quite a few people. And a little bit down the line here, Jackie shared the business with a girl named Sabina, and Sabina shared it with a lady named Trish. Trish shared it with Nat, and Nat is a good friend of mine, and Nat shared it with me. And I've gone on to share the business with a few other people. So you can see how this is just sort of organically growing, sharing. I'm down here. I've got Karina sharing the business. And this is what we call the popcorn effect. And you can see how just quickly a business can grow. And Kira now actually has the strongest business in the world for Juice Plus. So it's pretty amazing that she started that business just by two people that she had on the program come to her about the product. So it's really amazing that things can happen just that simply. It's not a hard business to do, and we're really lucky that we've got so many people that have done it before us that we can just share the way it's done. So it's really exciting that there's so much prospect there. I'm now going to stop talking and pass it over to Bree, who's going to talk a little bit about the numbers. Where are you, Bree?
Hello. Can you all hear me? Got me?
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Just a quick story on how it came into my life. I've been on Juice Plus now for about 20 months. It came in, when it first came to me, I was on maternity leave, I had about an 18-month-old baby at the time, and I was also, my maternity leave was actually coming to an end, and I was actually having to go back to full-time work, and that just brought on stress, anxiety, all the rest of it, and it just wasn't going to happen. The thought of going back to full-time work was actually making me really sick. At the time, also, my husband lost his job in Brisbane, and we had to do a big move back over to Western Australia. So at that time, one of my good friends came up to me and showed me a presentation just like this, and pretty much I jumped on board pretty much straight away. At that time also, I was feeling really lost within myself. I was also going through a stage of like a bit of depression. Like I was getting, as much as I loved being a stay-at-home mum, it was also doing my head in, because I felt like I was just a mum, I was just a wife, and I was at that point where I needed to do something for myself. And that's what I actually loved about this business opportunity. It wasn't just a business opportunity, it was also a great way to meet new people who had the same values as yourself and wanted to do the same things as you wanted to do, which was just go out there and help people find a better way. So with that, I've changed so much in the last 20 months. Like I'm now doing a lot of things that I never thought I would do 2 years ago. So it's not just, it's an amazing product, don't get me wrong, but the business opportunity is just as amazing as that, because there's so many good things can come out of that as well. I'm just going to do a quick run through of the numbers, because that was one of my biggest concerns. Was I'm new in Western Australia, I don't know many people, how am I actually going to build a team like that, until I saw the power of the numbers, and it did show that you didn't really need to know too many people. So here I was, I set up my business. All I had to do was go out there and I found 2 people. And the beauty about this business is anybody can do it, because all you need to be able to do is be teachable and then duplicate that. So I found these 2 people, I taught them the business, and then I taught them to duplicate it. So then they found 2 people themselves, and then we've got 4, and these 4 people just had to find 2 people, and they taught 2 people each. So then all of a sudden we've got 8. That's a bit of a dodgy 8. And then the same thing. Then we've got 16. These 16 went out and taught 2 people each. And then we've got over 60 people in our team. And all I did was I taught these 2 people at the top here to go and show 2 people. Now, the beauty of the power of the numbers is, imagine if I went out there and found an extra 3 people, and then I've just shown 5 people the business. And I taught these 5 people to go out there and find 5 people each. And then we've got 25, same thing, these 25 find 5 people each. And then 125, 625, and then all of a sudden we've got over 3,000 people. And all I did was we just taught another 3 people at the top here. So that just shows you the power of the numbers. Just all you can do is just show 5 people, But by no means you don't need to have this many people to have a successful business. It's just more showing you the power of the numbers. So you can show 2 people each, or you can go out there and show 5 people each. That's pretty amazing.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Bree.
That's all right.
I might just actually head on over to Michelle, who is launching her business tonight.
Hello.
There you are. Hey. So, Michelle, it's exciting launching your business. Well done. Maybe if you just want to share a little bit about, I guess, how Juice Plus came into your life and why it made sense to you, and I guess what you're excited about with the business and for the future.
Okay, thanks, Leah. I think listening to everyone, I came in a slightly different way. A post from Leah popped up in my newsfeed looking for people that were interested in health, motivated, wanting to help people, etc., and wanting more financial freedom. And I was a bit curious, so I did message Leah, and she sent me some more information. And I'm a bit of a skeptic, I suppose, so I researched a lot, and I read the peer-reviewed journals, and it really fitted with with, I guess, the way I see things. I suppose I need to give you a bit of my background to understand that. 18 months ago, I was diagnosed with lupus, and I'm not sure if many of you know what that is, but it's an autoimmune disorder. Quite a nasty one. I was in quite a bad way for a while. And you can't cure it, but conventional medicine will just treat the symptoms with strong immunosuppressants and steroids, neither of which I wanted. So I looked at the alternatives that are out there, and through my own research looked at how you can heal your body through diet. And that old saying of food is medicine, I suppose, really is true. So I spent quite a while doing, I suppose, that kind of healing journey, changing my diet, which I thought was actually quite healthy, really wasn't. So that certainly saw me improve my health because I was really exhausted. I had all kinds of range of symptoms, I suppose similar to what Jo was saying, with joint pains and swelling, and I couldn't even open a door for a couple of months. Every single joint, muscle and tendon hurt in my body. So through changing my diet, I found improvements quite quickly, and that's been ongoing. But when I looked at Juice Plus, it really resonated with me because, exactly as Leah said, even I suppose we hear in the media that we should be eating 2 fruit and 5 veg, and sometimes we hear 7 and 10, but research shows that we really actually need to be eating about 10 to 12 for optimal health, which is pretty hard to do, as we know. Some days we do better than others. So I suppose for me it's that bridging that gap between what I should be eating and what I am eating. And I know it's certainly going to benefit me. It's not going to do any damage, as opposed to, say, supplementing with isolated nutrients like vitamin C and things like that. They don't just work independently of each other. We need the food, we need the nutrition. So once I looked at the business side of things and how this fitted with my view on health, I am quite excited, I suppose, to be sharing that with others. So I'm really excited about the opportunity to help others on their health journey, I suppose, as well as looking at the business opportunity and more financial freedom, more time with my children, more time with my family, and more opportunity to say yes to things as well. So pretty excited about that.
Thanks, Michelle. I think there you are. Internet might be going.
Oh, is it? Okay.
All good, all good. Thank you so much, and thanks for sharing your story. I've not actually heard you tell that before, and it's pretty incredible, I guess, where your health has been and where it's going. It's exciting for the future to see how good you can feel. I might just talk a little bit now about the fun stuff, the money. So I guess, as Michelle said, it's really nice to be able to say yes to a few more things and have more options. And I know when I came into this business, we weren't in a very financially great situation. I was having to look at going back to work, and that wasn't something I wanted to do. I really wanted to be a mum who was able to stay at home with my little girl, and to be able to have to put her into daycare and go back to work full time was definitely not the idea of how I wanted to do it. So I'll be forever grateful that this actually came into my life, and I took the opportunity to say, what if, and ask a few questions, and I definitely came in with some small goals. When Jo was doing the levels and she was talking about the different levels you go through, I definitely could never see how the pinnacle position was something that I could achieve. But the great thing is that there's people in this business who believe in you before you believe in yourself. And, as long as you are able to, enjoy and be teachable, it's really just about, just being able to surrender and learn something new and help people. And I know that I love to help people look good, feel good. And so this has been a real pleasure for me, and something that I've been able, the financial reward is pretty amazing, but the emotional reward also, to be able to, help other women. And I'm really passionate about showing other mums that they can do this. And, there is another way. I think that we sort of grow up thinking, there's really two ways. You either sort of have to kind of miss out on a lot and go back to work, or you really have to go without, and if you want to be able to have more time and spend more time with your family. So I just love that there is another option, and this has just been pretty life-changing. I can see how now I'm pinnacle position of NMD isn't too far in the future. Everybody has the potential to do this. Everybody has the potential to get there, and it's really a matter of just taking the leap and asking what if. So I'll just talk about a couple of the ways that we get paid, and the first one is retail. So really, we just connect the customer with the company, and we get money in our bank account. It's not a going out and sell business, and trying to rope in family and friends, and we don't let anyone become that crazy Juice Plus person, because no one wants to be that person and no one wants to be sold to. It's really just a recommending business and sharing what we're up to and how we're feeling. And it's no different. What do we do when we go out to a restaurant and get a really nice meal these days? We take a picture and we share on Facebook or social media. And in this case, the restaurant doesn't actually pay you, but in our case, we actually, if we're recommending, we're actually getting money in our bank account. The next way we get paid is commission. So as we start to build a team and we start to help other people get what they want and achieve their goals, we actually also get rewarded with money in our bank account. And then the last way we get paid is bonuses. So basically, I just think bonuses seem to be a bit of a thing of the past. I know that in my last couple of jobs, it's not something that has really been something that has been available. And I just love that in this business, bonuses is a big part of how we get paid. And there's lots of bonus structures. But I'm just going to go over the easiest one to understand. So basically, when you come into the business, one of the first positions that you can get to is called SDVF. And when you get there, you get a $400 bonus. If you get there within your 40 days, you do have 60 days to get there. We are seeing people do this, in a week. They're breaking records all over the place. It really depends on how much time people have to really put into this. And everybody comes in with their own skills and own time amount they're able to do this. And there's never any pressure. It's really just everybody's on their own journey, and we're here to support people however they want to do it. And as it's a teaching business, the person who has taught you and helped you get there also gets a $400 bonus. The next position is sales coordinator, and when you get there, you get a $600 bonus. And the person who taught you also gets $600. The next position is SSC, and when you get there, you get a $1,200 bonus, and the person who taught you also gets $1,200. The next position after that is called QNMD, and it is you get a $1,500 bonus, and the person who taught you also gets $1,500. And this is a position I'm not too far away from at the moment, working towards. And, it's definitely been a bit of a journey for me. And I just love that, when I came into this, the financial situation we're in, we really couldn't see a way out. But this has definitely provided something for us and our family, and given us definitely more options to say yes. And I love that I get to take, that some big bills off my husband and take that pressure off him. And, I definitely came in with some small goals of even just $1,000 a week, $1,000 a month would have really changed our life at that point, because I wasn't bringing in any money. And now it's, to be able to do that. And, I've got a trip. I went last year to Melbourne and then to the Gold Coast for this business. So we get to have lots of fun as well doing this. But, my little business got to fund that. I'm heading off again to the Gold Coast in June. And then there's another couple of trips coming up. And I just think that it's given me the option to be able to do so much more. And I know there's lots of girls on this call who'll be heading away, to those things as well. So the community of women and people who we get to connect with is pretty incredible as well. So it's the one, and then the pinnacle position is NMD. And when we get there, you get a $3,000 bonus. And, by the time you get to NMD, which we're seeing people do that in anything from, 12 months to 2 years. It's really however people have different amounts of time they can put into this. But by the time you get there, you've built, anything depending on the strength of your business from, $80,000 to $120,000 residual income business. So that's pretty incredible, considering it's just something you can do in stolen moments from home around your family. And I just love that we get to do life a little bit different, rather than it's, work and then do life around it. We get to have life and then do this around those important things. So that's really it tonight. Thank you so much for Michelle for launching your business, and if you've jumped on to support her, thank you so much. Or if you're watching a recording of this, we really just encourage you that if you've got any questions, just to go back and really ask the person who's invited you to take a look, because what if this is something that could work for you? I know that for myself and some other women on here, like, it was just taking that leap and asking those questions. And if you're skeptical, I think that's really normal. There's a lot of stuff out there, and you've got to ask the questions and find out a little bit more. But it's really just, I know for myself, if I wasn't doing this, I don't know what I would be doing, and life would be really different. So if you're looking for something, this might be it. If you're not, that's completely fine. You might know there's somebody out there who is. But yeah, that's it. Have a great evening.